Super Friends Perspectives, a collection of interviews, discussions, and presentations from conferences, trade shows, and events that just don't fit either of the other two shows. Some are long, some are short, but they'll all have valuable insights, useful information, or just good conversation with thought leaders and subject matter experts. And now, the AV Super Friends. For February 2nd, 2024, it's the best-sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV Super Friends live from ISE in Barcelona, Spain. Really, we are there, probably.
Some in spirit, at least.
I guess.
This is a virtual background, I promise.
Yes, we brought our virtual backgrounds with us to Spain to talk about ISE. See, I've got my ISE shirt on because it's a week-long party instead of work.
We're all dressed up for it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh, shit, I forgot to do my whole thing. Sorry.
Yeah, start over. Go. Nobody can
do this. Broadcasting live, been really live, again, still doing this, from coast to coast, easternmost to westernmost, northernmost to southernmost, gate post, hitching post. I'm your local host who can boast the most, milk toast, and utmost humility. I'm Chris Decter, and it's time for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure, which is what you're dealing with right now. And let's say hello to today's panel of AV Super Friends. I'm joined by a future metric strategist from Kansas City. Justin, I see your cursor. Do not change that. Future metric strategist from Kansas City, Jamie Reinhart. A global paradigm manager from Corvallis, Oregon, Mark Kolowazinski. A relational response engineer from Greensboro, North Carolina, Larry Darling. And you did change that, you son of a bitch. A lead response vice president from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Justin Rexing. Stop giving yourself promotions.
I follow along with the words with my mouse so I can read better.
You added stuff in there. Stop messing with that.
No, I didn't add anything. That was what you typed, bro. You did that.
Let's go, bro. We'll see. I'll go back into the edit. All right. So this show, we're doing a short little show here. As you can see the timer down there. We're in 15 minutes most. We're going to talk only about ISE.
Go.
Do it again, Mark.
Right there.
Move him again.
Now find it. Where'd it go? All right. Let me start this thing, and we'll see what's going on with ISE. Make it go. There's a button.
We have a bunch of people on the ground. Live.
It is live. So this is going to be entirely a news segment thing here. So let's do some. We're gonna do some news. Where's our news intro?
Breaking news.
That's it. Justin will do it for us. All right. So
that was pretty close.
That was. You were in the same ballpark.
Yes,
there.
very much.
Also worth pointing out one piece of news today.
Well, it's Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah.
Again.
So there you go. This is our
I
second
felt like that
Groundhog
was
Day
most
episode.
of the news coming out of there was
Pretty
Groundhog
much.
Day news. Kind of like, hey, let's go back to Codex.
Yeah, there was a lot of that stuff.
Are we starting on that? Is that where we're?
Two of our best friends
starting?
are watching, at least. That's great.
Yeah.
So,
We have friends.
bonjour over there.
So
in,
all right,
in
let's
Barcelona.
What'd you guys see from ISE? What do you want to talk about? I've got 3 items I want to bring up. What do you guys have?
Bring them up. Let's get. You don't got much time. You got 14 minutes. Let's go.
I can take 14 minutes.
And you still one of mine, so you might as well talk about it.
Did I? Which?
Sure.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that one gets an asterisk. So as far as we're going to talk about new products, we're going to talk about the show itself, that sort of thing. Let me do grab some news here. But so ISE, for those of you who don't know, Integrated Systems Europe is basically I think it's the world's largest commercial AV trade show, I believe. I may be wrong on that. Something like 75,000 attendees, like 1,500 exhibitors. It's a huge thing. It's, in our parlance, it's 3 times the size of Infocom and goes on for a week. So does that cover it, I think?
Yeah,
Pretty close, yeah.
Done. All right, well, we'll see you guys. We'll roll out of here.
I didn't see a lot of product. I saw a lot of trends that make me concerned for this summer.
Yes. So one of the items I'm going to bring up, I saw a ton of room systems and systems in a box. And I know it's cheap to make because it's off-the-shelf components and we already make all this crap. But that worries me.
Does it?
I saw
It does, Mark, of all
More
people
than
you should know.
more than a month ago.
I know.
Like, I mean, it's.
When people are announcing more of that sort of stuff,
The end is nigh. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's happening.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna get them. 21 by 9 is bigger than 16 by 9. Doesn't mean it's correct or real.
Yeah. I saw a lot of an uptick in actual product that had Dante video. Like
21 by 9 was big.
like
by Joe
AMX,
21 by 9 is the
SVS,
same height. It's just wider.
yeah, SVSI is going to run the Dante video, and AJ or whatever they
AJA,
called themselves.
Aja, if it's a Steely Dan album.
Same thing.
I like Aja.
I saw a few
Aja.
other little, like Barracks, I think, had something. You
Of
know,
all
there was
people,
just this.
Barracks. I saw that they had like a little amplifier. I'm like, where? Hey, kudos to those guys. That's the sort of stuff where Dante AV will sneak in.
I think it's gonna slowly creep in, and all of a sudden people are gonna wake up and be like, "Oh my God, it's everywhere! What happened?"
never
Just
happened.
like Dante did.
I'll tell you why it won't happen. I'll let you guys continue pontificating.
Yeah. So I thought that was a trend that was kind of interesting. And then I also found, like, ironically, and it was even that's how it was portrayed in the articles and things, is Cisco is back, and they're back into the unified communications realm with
Teams.
Microsoft Teams.
Teams, yes.
So they're making codecs again?
And I went,
They're
They didn't learn their
So,
lesson the
it's
first time?
It's the best of all worlds. It's a Cisco, Android-based Microsoft Teams codec.
Yeah.
That-
They said, "Hey,
three things I don't want."
Cisco
sounds
said, you know
super
what?
secure.
You guys are trying to do this service contract thing. Hold my beer. Let me show you how to do this.
Yes.
And I will show you how to reap some benefits of contracts and meaningless prices. So let's get into it. Hitch
So
up to this horse.
I saw some other kind of Logitech kind of, other kind of those all-in-wonder go back to the codec.
And a lot of them
trend
Android-based, which is going to be an issue.
is a trend. And my last thing that I thought was interesting was Audio-Technica, their ceiling mic. They are, and
The
this
little,
is
the
not
little
new or novel.
1062 one or whatever, the little one.
Yeah, they're going to implement in a software firmware update the Visca IP commands that will control almost every PTZ camera direct from the microphone. So instead of having to have an in-between talking box
Just send it
that
over.
reaches out and gets all of the triangulation from the microphones and passes it on the camera, they'll just pass those coordinates on their own. And
The physical connection, or it's passing the software information on. I didn't read I didn't see
commands.
that one.
it's just the commands, the
It's just the
Visca
commands,
commands.
yeah.
So what it's doing is it's sending its audio stream over Dante to wherever, and at the same time will send the Visca command, the coordinates, XYZ
cameras.
coordinates, to whatever camera you have out there.
I need to read up
and
on
it
that.
will directly drive your camera to make it auto. I think it's. I mean, I'm doing it now, but I have to have a third-party widget in
yeah,
the
you need a
middle.
little
I found it
brain.
interesting that Audio-Technica's like, we don't even make cameras. Screw it. Let's just do it, and just put it out there. So I thought that was.
No,
I thought
think
that was
it's-
neat. It was
I think it's
nerdy
neat,
for
too.
me.
I think it's
Nerdy
neat because
for me.
I like that end-to-point to endpoint communication and just circumventing the whole brain thing. Just go. I think that's cool.
So other than that, it was just
That one is
another,
intriguing. So
another day
I
in news
tested
releases.
that mic on, and it's a contender for small spaces on campus. I like that mic, but I have to read up on the VISC implementation.
Yeah. Well, that's my notes. I didn't have a whole lot of wonderful news or anything, but that's what I thought was interesting.
Yeah, Aaron, I had the same sort of question there. So Aaron Peterson's asking, where is the coordinate information from the mic? Is it from the cameras? Is it based on the steering to the lobes? Is it coordinating with presets? So you go in and predefine presets,
No,
and then
it
based
just-
on that, it sends that preset information.
So from what I could read, now listen, we all know
Look,
that this
The best marketing has all the
There
details
is-
in there. Yes.
There is no flaws to this. It's going to work perfectly
by the way,
every
those are the
time.
those are the sorts of questions I ask somebody at Infocom who's
Yes.
telling me about a new thing, and they don't have the answer, and they say, "Let
Yeah.
me get Steve or Sally."
Oh, he
or
didn't
whoever,
make it
our
to this
engineer."
show.
Right?
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Steve's still at home.
we don't let the
Yeah.
engineer come because he will answer that question. No, what I am taking out of it is that the microphone just uses its lobe coordinates and does a direct XYZ output to drive the camera, not presets, not anything else. It just it says
Yeah,
you
I
know,
don't. If you
plus
get into like
25
really,
minus, just it does the
yeah.
coordinates.
If you do like multi-camera, complicated stuff, and that's
No.
not know that this is like
No,
one
no, I'm
mic,
thinking those basic conference
yeah,
rooms.
driving a single camera around, like that's pretty simple data.
Yeah.
It can do that.
Because
No, I
it's
can't-
already
I
kind of it's following the zone anyway.
Right.
But I just read it as that direct connection. I mean, I do it, like I said, I do it now from these other devices, but I have to have an in-between widget, and I just thought it was cool.
And yes, Aaron, just put it on the network. It'll be fine. It's going to work out.
Don't worry about it.
Everything,
Always
just
does.
it all, just whatever. Just throw it on there.
It'll
No
handshake.
config. Zero config.
I think what made it most interesting is that they just said it's Visca IP control. There was none of this. We only do somebody's camera. No, this is Visca IP control, which is just about all of the PTZ.
It's what I look for when I look at PTZ. I'm like, it does that perfect. Great, it works. Let's go.
Done. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll give up
interesting.
my.
I'll have to read up on that. That is intriguing. That is. It's also, by the way, that microphone they're adding voice lift, which is pretty slick too.
So to the people that are on the ground over there, true or false? Is Abson like really running some stuff over there right now? I'm just curious. I've heard a couple different.
They have a really
streams.
funky mascot that looks like a
bee.
A bee, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, somebody told me that they had a pretty good presence, and I just was like, oh.
I think they got really
doing
big
good
presence.
things.
Absint's one of those ones. They're also
They're growing.
They're also a manufacturer of those same panels in the background, kind of like Liard is and
Mm-hmm.
others. The name's not as big out there, but they're making the stuff for other people. So a lot of the branded ones are coming through their factories.
Yeah.
They're very aggressive.
Well, I saw they
especially
were
when-
nominated for an award or won an award or something like that. So I figured, hey, they must be there
They're
doing
check
something.
cleared, so they won a
You're-
best of show.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of faith in these awards.
What? No, this is that is like straight up real deal press right there.
Oh, it's a legit
Somebody had
award.
to write
It's a
that.
legit award.
But
Legit.
Like those other awards.
It's not. I like it when the 4-year-old product wins best of show this year. You're
The
like,
ones,
that's
the one's been around. Announced in 2021. Yeah.
It's real.
must have been a firmware update.
Hey, the future's one firmware updated way,
I
Justin.
know.
Okay.
You're right, because one firmware update, I'm buying new shit.
You're out. Jesus.
That's the future.
Your job is hanging on one firmware, so it's coming.
You've been using this stuff for too long, so here's a firmware update to break some stuff. And yeah.
Oh, so you're out of budget? Just run this software. Don't worry about it. You'll get new budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feature works a little bit too well. We're going to take it away and make it a paid edition in the future. So, yeah.
Oh, I know several
A
companies.
little close to home.
What else? What else? Did you
Don't
see-
give Audio Technica into the licensing game. Don't give them any ideas.
All right.
Don't do that.
We did bring up the Shure Microflex Wireless Next 2, I think is what it is. This is the one. It's pretty slick. It's an all-in-one. By the way, the 2 at the end says there will be multiple models in this line eventually. This is pretty slick. It acts as an audio interface. It's a Dante on-ramp. It's an analog ingestion point, both of those. It's a microphone charging base. It's pretty slick as an all-in-one thing, and pretty well priced too. So if
Really
you
well
only need,
priced.
it looks like if you
It's
need
clever.
like 2 mics in your room and a little bit of Dante I/O or USB for your computer, then it's like not a bad way to go.
You're missing something too. It's got a
What's that?
full-blown DSP,
DSP in it.
with AEC on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Full blown.
And that's in
Well,
line with other things I'm
full
seeing.
blown.
Two-channel
Full-
mics, yeah.
Can
Hey.
you define full blown?
I don't
got
need a
AEC,
full
that's all I
blown
care.
everything everywhere.
It
Yeah.
comes with a full
It's-
rack blank that you have to put in somewhere.
It says full blown on it.
It says full blown.
Full blown.
got
As long
enough
as
to
you
make it
use
work.
their microphone and their thing and their thing and their.
Well,
Look,
I will.
DSP is the one component that keeps outsourcing its job to other things. I've noticed lately. It's like little bits of it are like embedded on lots of little endpoints out there. And just, I don't need the full blown thing anymore. I can just get away with the little tiny one.
shh, big companies are gonna get mad. Shh.
When's the last time that stopped us?
Oh, true.
No, that's very true.
That was
That's
last
the
week.
Yeah, there's been some. Yeah. Let's see. We talked about room system. Talked about. I do want to give just as a particular call out to the folks at AV Nation who've been doing fantastic coverage there. Just cranking stuff out all week long. Great job there. Kudos to that team at AV Nation. All right, what else we got out there? Oh, you know what I
I
haven't
saw-
seen much of. Wait, let me get. I get.
Yeah, get suited up for this, Chris, because I want you to go live.
Okay.
Go report live for us.
Hold on, let me go to ISE in the metaverse. It's in Spain.
There were announcements about that, man. You might
Yeah,
miss
and that's
them.
all there will ever be, Larry, is announcements. That's all we get from that.
Sound like he's talking like this. When you put your goggles on, it makes you sound all nice.
The
You're
best
gonna
part,
see anything out of this.
of everybody I know, the person who's like the most staunchly against goggles is the one guy who actually has a pair of goggles and wears
It's
them
the
publicly.
only person that has one.
I'm against the blanket, just like 3D was a couple of years ago. The blanket, like we'll just put this everywhere and soon it will be ubiquitous. Bullshit. That
Every
stuff
show
is,
we get one.
it's been the exact same since the 80s. You go to the Science Center, they strap on the 8-pound thing on your head, and you go to Spain. Woo!
That's not the use case anymore.
Oh, no,
now
wait,
we
now
are
it-
going to have virtual meetings
We're
with
meeting teams,
avatars.
man. Yeah,
that
we're
coming-
is what's going to.
I don't know if I can. I don't want my job to be any more immersive than it currently is. I don't need that. I need to be able to get out of my current immersed environment. I don't want to strap it on and can't get away from it. Like, that's not what I want.
Set up my desk with a virtual desk in front of me.
Yes, my desk is an overlay on my desk.
Yeah,
Just wear
and
your goggles.
Yeah, I don't need that.
some other company that's not at ISE has pretty much garnered the market and the marketing and advertising of goggles this past week or two.
Yeah, I look forward to the $4,000 goggles with the 2-hour battery. By the way, that battery not being hot swappable, so when that dies, you have to turn it off and plug in another battery pack.
Oh,
so,
that's right. The Xverse,
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, that
the
thing.
X10. Yeah, you want to design in the.
I can goggle my
metaverse.
way through design.
Sure.
We're designing in the Meta X verse. Is that what?
I'll just say, as somebody who really enjoys their other product, I don't.
Do you
see
really
the
enjoy
point.
their other product?
Yes,
gotcha.
I do.
Okay. No, I know you do.
don't. Yeah, that's. We should probably have a show about that stuff.
About
good stuff.
software or
It's good.
about
No,
the
but
metaverse?
I
The
I
X10
love
stuff's
the
solid.
idea of using virtual reality or the 3D renderings
Because you can go to
for
Egypt.
all of our
It's
things
great.
for just demonstrating our
Mark now has a
products and
cat
stuff.
head.
But come on. I mean, are we going to carry around a suitcase full of goggles for all of our clients to use? And
Yes.
I'm just,
Yes.
it's
better.
really cool. I'm out.
Get off my lawn.
It's really cool, but that sounds like a licensing nightmare. Like,
But is
you
it
can
though?
get in now, and for $78 a minute, and a 2 gigabyte uplink, you can use this anywhere in the world as long as you can plug it into the ground. It just seems
Call
like
now. Operators are standing by.
That said, I have seen the demos. It is really cool, but I don't see it as being. I
this
don't
always
see
goes.
it as.
Sounds
I
great.
don't
I have-
see it as being I'm an AV engineer on my
Jamie?
campus kind of thing.
This is the most confusing review I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is he pro or con on this?
I have
I'm not
no
sure
idea.
where
Do you
he
hate it or
stands.
do you love it?
Hey, I really.
Or do
I
you
really,
hate that you love it?
I like a lot of this stuff. I see absolutely zero interest in professionally using any of it.
We got 3 more seconds. Who else saw something there? Oh, too much. Oh, we're out of time. Sorry,
Yep.
folks.
A lot of influencers keep influencing while you're out there. I want to make sure that we're getting a lot of influence.
I see a lot of influence, like influencers, stereotypical influencer influence. I'd like
was
to see
suffering
some
from-
more substance.
A lot of fluencing.
So if you're
I
out
was
there,
suffering from
let's-
seasonal influence the other day, but I got over it.
Let's get some substance. Let's ask an engineer at AT about their stuff.
Yeah. All right, friends on the ground, go forth.
Oh, I didn't even run my little drops in between there. Sorry, I screwed
No, I
up.
know.
I'm not paying attention to the soundboard. All right.
Yeah,
no.
well,
Nope.
I
Nope,
told
not
you
that
we
one.
should have done this just
This
live.
one.
Just
We did it live.
do the
They all-
sound.
We are doing it live. Right
No, just
now.
make up the
That's why it's
sounds
falling
live.
apart.
Make-
We're
yeah.
gonna change. We're gonna change the clock to be more like a soccer clock, so it counts upwards, so we know
Yes, we're in
exactly how
bonus
awful
time.
we
Oh,
did.
yeah,
They
and
need a
injury
tight
time is I
control
fall
to
down
it
and
where it
fake an
just
injury. It'd be
kills the
great.
feed.
There you go.
I mean,
right, well-
why not? It seems to work.
Safe travels.
Yeah. So we'll release this on the audio feed for those of you who didn't make the live one, and then look for us with actual stuff next week.
Yeah. Have fun, everybody. Stay sober.
Well, that wraps up another episode of AV Super Friends Perspectives. If you have a perspective to share, you can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.